Thank you so much for having me. My name is Rebecca Delahunt, and I work as Director of Public Policy with Minnesota Family Council. The ERA would amend Minnesota's constitution to include, quote, "The state shall not discriminate against any person in intent or effect on account of gender identity or gender expression." Under this language, the Minnesota Constitution would protect rejection of sex. In practice, what does that mean? It's likely this means that the Constitution will protect sex-rejecting procedures, or so-called gender-affirming care. These practices are in question in the medical community, both globally and in the United States. On February 3rd, 2026, the American Society of Plastic Surgeons stated, quote, "The overall evidence base for gender-related endocrine and surgical interventions is low certainty, and in light of recent publications reporting very low or low certainty of evidence regarding mental health outcomes, along with emerging concerns about potential long-term harms and the irreversible nature of surgical interventions, ASPS concludes that there is insufficient evidence demonstrating a favorable risk-benefit ratio for the pathway of gender-related endocrine and surgical interventions for children and adolescents. Creating constitutional protection of low-certainty medical practice is not sound public policy. We should know if that is the legislative intent of ERA. The so-called ERA expressly creates constitutional protection for so-called gender identity, likely forcing females to share private spaces such as restrooms, locker rooms, and dorms, state grants, scholarships, athletic opportunities, prison facilities, and women's shelters with males who identify as female. We believe ERA would give constitutional protection to males' access to female prison in Minnesota. Margot G. Lewis is convicted of homicide. As of today, February 23rd, Margot Lewis is housed at MCF Shakopee. A DOC source reported, quote, "Lewis still has male anatomy. I believe this inmate is dangerous both to the physical safety and emotional well-being of others. Lewis has been approved to have his strip searches done by female staff only," end quote. Elijah Berryman, a male convicted of criminal sexual conduct, and Bradley Richard Servio, serving life for homicide, are housed at MCF Shakopee as of this morning. That's not a conclusive list. One incarcerated woman at Shakopee, called Janice, shared with Redux, quote, "Like most inmates, there is a fear of speaking up or voicing those concerns because of potential retaliation or because people will think you're being discriminatory or judgmental. Incarcerated women housed at Shakopee now face high risk of sexual violence, a punishment which was not part of their sentencing. That is a barbaric injustice. Women and children bear the consequences of a society which allows for the rejection of sex. Legislators may attempt to erase reality by legislation, but these attempts fail, and women and girls and boys bear the consequences. Who will be the voice of justice for women and children? Please vote no on SF 473. Thank you.